Thank you for joining us in the National Aviation Safety Center. Allow me in the beginning to start with the agenda item, if you allow me. So we'll have two panels and two presentations. Before we start on our agenda, we start with all the remarks, then move on to the first agenda item, which is the importance of safety culture. Then we'll move to the first panel, which is the just culture. Then we have a presentation from our colleagues in the National Transportation Safety Center regarding accident investigation. Then we have a noon break for prayers and original 30 minutes. And then we'll resume our day with the last panel of the first day, which is perspective for risk management. And the second day will start with integrating for safety challenges and challenges and synergies panel, and then we'll move on to the second presentation or the third presentation of the seminar and the day two, which is the Beyond Missions, Beyond Bodies in March. Then we'll have the second panel, which is the fleet management, then managing fatigue, the MRO with our colleague Alpha Star, here at the Aziz Mission representative, and then we'll conclude with the final panel of the seminar, which is around the complexity of risk management in general aviation. Allow me to welcome Engineer Khalid Bukhari to start the seminar and also to take you through the first presentation of the panel.
We stay with this all days. So I what the target we need start party and we just in six all started. Yeah. I welcome you all to the National Aviation Safety Seminar under the theme Safety Culture as a tool for sustainable safety approach. This seminar comes at a pivotal time as the kingdom is completing Saudi Arabia, moving toward its goals and purpose, 2030 vision, to become a leader in innovation, connectivity, and operational excellence. One key principle that remains at the heart of everything that we pursue: health and safety. Yes. Safety culture is not about procedures and framework only. Safety culture is rooted in the values and behaviors of organizations toward prioritizing safety. It is about openness, willingness to learn. It's about trust. Its roles as the leaders at every level of our organization set the tone, support their dreams, see each opportunity, each error mistakes, whatever it's called, as an opportunity from the people, but understand why it happens, rather than reason it. So before start, I'd like to take the stage to thank our sponsors, Marsh and Airbus, as well as the Saudi Aviation Club for hosting this event. Through the event, I encourage you all to participate, share your experience, and your perspective. Your contribution to this seminar and success of the seminar is key to these 2 days. So I hope all of us over these 2 days have proactive, predictive, productive, and aspiring. You always see that. We'll start with the importance of safety culture, safety does. Culture influences our behaviors. Those ways rooted in our values. When it comes to safety, it influences how we apply safety in our organization, in our daily life. In a context of a family, two siblings share the same core values. However, through life experience, you will see that their behaviors and some other values may change. Apply that to our organization, where we have diverse resources, diverse people working together. That distinguish between values and between behaviors we expect. And that's why when it comes to safety culture, we need to make sure that the organization have the same value, same organizational behaviors of the city. Then in the purpose of what we call the national security, stay safe to program. We need to ensure that the industry as a whole does not have that big gap in terms of safety culture and safety values. This is why we are here. Safety culture is not new. Maybe the name safety culture or concept of safety culture itself evolved throughout. However, safety culture, this is a picture from 1940, Olympic infection line. And key was they say volunteer. So they know that the volunteering, public volunteering, to mention that there is a fault, is better than high and subcomputer analysis of the reality. So this is why it's important. But I would like to emphasize all the applications for now. I will go to this keywords there. But intrinsically, our mind is for today versatility, with volunteer, in many cultural lines, so whether it's organization or culture or safety, they divide culture behaviors into pieces. Honestly, and really, it's just something. Think about the iceberg. Think, you can see, you go on the surface, you see it go, shift, you can see the tip of the iceberg. This tip of the iceberg is actually going to be steep. Our policies that the organization, it's how we behave for safety. But what makes it strong? And what makes it benefit? So, but besides which part of that iceberg you see and how it moves, how it works, what interacts with that, and this is out for example, iceberg, is the chemical part beneath the surface of the water. It's the one that physically interacts with the water. And besides such as the sequence of iceberg and how it flows and goes. And that is the values, the leaves, the experiment. So this is what makes our culture. As I said, it's not in the process. And similarly to the safety management system, our in Asian systems, been started with a technical development. In the 1950s, they used to focus on technical aspects of the aircraft, the design, the maintenance. In the 1970s, they started to see that you were advances. And during interaction with machines, as machines started to advance, there was a gap between the area of humans and the interaction of the human complete factor. Then between the 90s and the 2000s, they say, okay, organizational factor also then have the same thing. And then they introduced, and like Hales introduced total system era, which is the total safety management that we know in the safety management system. Through that, safety culture also evolved. As we say, as we saw before, the world was formed and rebuilt. Nowadays, what we say is reports. And we don't only report faults, we report anything that could hinder the safety. So, for example, if you wait for a fault to happen in the reported, it's a bit reactive. However, the management system now is from non-reactive proactivity by reporting, for example, not adherence to procedures. Because if I report not adherence to procedure, I need to bring people the fault in the or the fault that is something else. So we are proactive now. And similarly, safety culture is all the culture. I think we started introducing the whole safety culture, what is the purpose of safety culture, in the documents beyond the 2018. So this is why safety culture, again, is embedded and rooted within everything we do. as part of the safety plan system. Which is, as I said before, it's all values and behaviors, it's intervenes, and it's the leadership. The importance of safety culture with sustainability in the aviation, because the aviation is a high risk. People don't forget how the aviation systems evolve, management systems evolve. Now we know that aviation transportation is the serious means of transportation that did not come out from that pollution of safety culture, pollution of safety system. But in the context of the growth, the extremely special for Indian Saudi Arabia, we need to reform and grow safety culture. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have what we call now the State Safety Program. This is a requirement from the International Civil Aviation Organization on all states that have signed the Chicago Convention. So all states, including Saudi Arabia, must have something that manages safety on a national level. It's called the State Safety Program, SSP. The SSP is not the work of one entity, it's not the work of GACA, it's not the work of the industry. It's the collaboration of all safety or aviation stakeholders in the context of civil aviation. So it's the industry, it's GACA, it's all authorities or independent government authorities that have something or are defined as a stakeholder in the SSP. The SSP is built within the same component of what we know as the safety management system, policy, risk management, assurance, and promotion. Through all of these, again, safety culture has a key influence in policies and procedure and commitment. This is leadership commitment and all senior management commitment and personnel commitment. In risk management as well, and in assurance as well, and promotion, which we are doing here. We are trying to promote safety, we're trying to promote safety culture. This is a barcode for the link of the State Safety Program. It is shared on GACA website. It's a good read. You can scan the code or you can visit GACA website and look at it under the safety section. You will find the State Safety Program. It's available in Arabic and English. If you change the language of the website, you will be able to view it in the language you prefer. I recommend you give it a read because it gives more detail on how nationally we are expected to manage safety when it comes to civil aviation. Just an example, I will go through the state safety risk management. In principle, it's the same as any risk management, specifically when it comes to safety in aviation. It starts with identification. It goes to analysis and assessment of the risk. What is the value of the risk we have? What mitigation strategies we come up with, and starting to implementing them and monitoring them. In the context of the state safety program, as you can see in the lower section, this work doesn't start or end with one stakeholder. It starts with data collection. This data collection includes data GACA produce themselves through their surveillance activities, audits. It's hugely reliant on data provided by the aviation industry from reports, such. Also investigation carried out whether by the service provider or the industry or the National Transport Safety Team, Safety Center Team, or GACA. So it's a collection of data that have been sifted, analyzed, validated to give us the context we want when we carry on risk management on a national level. It goes through something that comes under the State Safety Program, which is called the State Safety Program Working Group, where key industry subject matter experts are present with GACA and meet quarterly to discuss key and high level out of the context of industry and out of the context of GACA. They go together and collaborate to assess risk and implement strategies.
then that goes to something that sits as a higher level, which we call the National Aviation Safety Committee, the NASC, which is His Excellency GACA President is now the executive, the accountable executive of that committee, or the SSP. And it's not GACA alone, it's individuals from all government entities and industry that have key role in the safety aviation. They all are involved in this process to come up with action plan initiative to manage safety. So safety culture is important. It starts actually from the beginning. If we don't report, if we don't report actual things, if we don't report accurately, we will not come with an accurate result. Then if we don't have the culture to implement the actions, support the implementation actions, admit that the actions may not be effective, and admit that we need to improve, then the whole thing's break. And this is a continuous process. And I'm not only talking about safety risk management, I haven't talked about assurance, everything. Safety culture is embedded in everything we do. It was embedded in the organization safety management system. Now under the SSP, it is part of what we do nationally. This was my time. Next, we will have the Just Culture panel. Thank you for your time and listening.
Thank you, Engineer Khalid. Thank you very much.